Hello, and welcome to the Getting Started lecture for Art 106 Renaissance through Modern Art. This course is completely online and it is also an accelerated 8-week course, meaning we still have to cover entire semester's worth of work, but we do it in about half the time. We do it in 8 weeks. The goal of this lecture is to help familiarize you with how the course is going to be set up and to also help you see and understand some of the tools on Blackboard. I will say that some of my examples where I've just copied from other courses might not exactly match ours, but it will be close enough for you to understand. My name is Jennifer A. Fraley. I'm your professor for this course. You can refer to me Dr. Fraley, Professor Fraley, Miss Fraley, Jennifer. Honestly, I do not mind. The only thing I don't go by is Mrs. Fraley. That is my mother. Please do not call me by that. If you send emails to Mrs. Fraley, I will assume you want to talk to her and I will forward it on accordingly. You can see on this screen there is my email. It is our JCTC email. We will be discussing everything or communicating through the JCTC email system. Please do not use your personal emails. All right. As I already said, this presentation is to help you understand the expectations and the requirements of the course, and you'll also see how to navigate different content areas on Blackboard. Even if you feel like you're already familiar with Blackboard, please do listen to the rest of this lecture because a lot of it's going to be very specific to our course itself. First is the syllabus. This is probably the most important document of the course. This is your instruction guide for the course itself. It has everything in it, including the policies and procedures from the institution, also has the expectations of the course, the grading scales, all due dates, the calendar, everything is up there for the entire semester. So you can go to the calendar and see exactly when your midterm exam is going to be, the final exam is going to be, what discussion boards are due when your paper is going to be due. So since this is an online course, you're obviously not required to print it out. The syllabus tab is on the left-hand side in Blackboard. The syllabus is there. It'll be there for you the entire time. However, I do recommend printing out the calendar. It's just nice to have that as a little reminder to yourself of what is due when. Again, this is an accelerated 8-week course. We go quickly. And if you get behind in this course, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. How I have this course designed is we do it week by week. So week 1 is this week. We're going to do some introductory material, and since it's an 8-week course, we're also going to jump right into the textbook. How I run the week is that it starts at midnight on Monday, and then it runs through 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. So all work, unless otherwise stated, is due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. However, what will happen is when you go to the weekly schedule, so it'll be week 1, week 2, week 3, you go to week 1, all the materials for that week will be posted there. So the recorded lectures will be there, the discussion boards. If it's a week where there is an exam, that will be there. If it's a week where I assign the paper, that will all be there. Typically, a week is going to include, you're going to have readings from your textbook, which is online. We'll discuss that in a minute. There will be a recorded lecture. I highly recommend do the reading first and then go back and listen to my lecture. I do not cover everything in the chapters because, as you'll quickly find out, there is a lot of information in the chapters. But what I do is in the lectures, I will highlight areas that I think are important, and I'll usually try to give you a little more explanation on some of the materials. However, if you think, oh, I can just listen to the lectures and not read it, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So make sure you're doing both. So read the chapter and then listen to the lecture. Also, what's going to happen in this course is you're going to be given about 2 chapters a week. What I would do is read one chapter, listen to that lecture, and then kind of walk away. Then maybe the next day, come back, read the next chapter, listen to the lecture. If you try to do all of this in one day, it is just too much information. This is a survey course, meaning you get a lot of little snippets of information. So please don't wait to the last minute and overload yourself. Get into a good routine where maybe, Monday you read a chapter, listen to a lecture. Wednesday, read a chapter, listen to the lecture. And then you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get your work done. I would highly recommend something like that. Each week, you will also have the discussion board, and we'll talk about those again in a moment. Some other assignments that may show up for every once in a while, you will have one critical thinking essay. Sometimes I put in a live performance attendance and review. During our course, I might give you an optional extra credit opportunity. Shakespeare in the Park, which is free and open to the public, is playing this summer in Central Park in Old Louisville. Maybe I'll give you an extra credit opportunity there. But just keep an eye out. Now, in this course, you are technically going to have what's called a midterm exam and a final exam. But what these are going to be is basically there will be a midterm exam in week 4, which will cover everything from weeks 1 to 4, and then you'll have a final exam. The final exam is not cumulative. It will be everything from week 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? It will not cover weeks 1 through 4. I think there's just too much material to give a complete final exam. Each of these, the midterm and the final exam, are worth 250 points each. But we'll talk about those more in depth when the time comes. All right, navigating Blackboard. What's going to happen? The following slides are just going to help walk you through some of the different buttons displayed on the menu screen to the left on your Blackboard. This is called the content area. And you can see here, I just copied from a different course I teach. Ours will look very similar to this. You have the home page, announcements, syllabus, course documents. You will also have a link that says Cengage textbook. That's where you link to your textbook. But you will see this all on Blackboard. The home page, exactly what it says. That button will take you back to your individual homepage. How you like to set that up is up to you. Announcements. This is very important. This is where I will send anything I need to talk to the entire class about. This can include for us, probably not class cancellation since we're an online class, but maybe reminders of due dates. Sometimes I'll make some comments like, if I'm noticing a common mistake in discussion boards, I will send out an announcement in that. When I send out an announcement, you will also get an email alerting you that I have sent an announcement. Please don't ignore these announcements because if I'm going to send something out about it, it's pretty important. All right, next is the weekly schedule button. As I've already said, I am setting this class up by week. So when you go into the weekly schedule, what you're going to see is there'll be a different folder for each week. Now, the weeks won't populate until I put them up. So if you go there now, it's just going to say week 1. In that folder for week 1 will be all the materials you need, except the textbook. Remember, that's its own link. So within the week 1, so example for this week, there's going to be a couple, this lecture is in there. You'll also see the lecture, a couple lectures for some background information, the lecture on what is art history, and then you'll also have the first lecture for chapter 14. Also, there will be the discussion board. Discussion board number 1 is due Sunday at 11:59 by 11:59 p.m. So that will already be on there. So that's your materials for that week. So when you go there, you'll be able to see all that. If there's an exam or a paper due, those will also be under that specific week's folder. All right, I've already mentioned this a couple times. Your textbook is online. It's under the Cengage tab on the left on Blackboard. You have access to this by paying your tuition. This textbook is included with the cost of the course. If somehow you're going to Cengage and it's trying to prompt you to have you pay for a text, you're in the wrong area. You should be able to click on where I have Cengage, click on the textbook. You should be able to access it through there. Now, if you've not created a Cengage account before, you may have to do that. Again, I highly recommend you use your school email address to do this. I cannot access your Cengage account. So if something goes wrong, you can't remember your password, you're going to have to talk to Cengage themselves about that. Okay? You will see there are assignments built into the text itself. So it may say there's a writing assignment, there's a quiz. You do not have to do these. Okay? I will assign, everything that I have assigned is on the syllabus. But I highly, highly recommend, as you are reading, there are different review quizzes and I believe, an exam at the end of each chapter. If I were you, I would look at those. These are great tools that will help you see how well you're understanding the information, and I don't know, they might be great tools to help you study for your midterm and your final exam. If there are any issues with Cengage, please let me know as soon as possible. Just saw a typo there. Let me know as soon as possible. It's not okay if by week 3 you come to me and you say, oh, I couldn't get my link to work. You're already 3 weeks behind in an 8-week course. It's almost too late at that point. So if something's going on, please let me know. Next, discussion boards. You will have a discussion board due each week. This is one of the ways we will communicate with one another. Most of the time, these discussion boards have multiple parts to them. There are 8 in this course, and they are each worth 30 points. This works out to be about, 24% of your final grade. So please do not forget to do these. Usually I'll ask you a specific question, a problem, some sort of topic, and you will need to respond to this. Sometimes I will ask you to also respond to your classmates' responses. What you do for that is you just click on somebody else's, read it, and then you reply to them. Remember, this is a graded assignment, so do not copy and paste from other sources. If you copy and paste from other sources without citing it, that's plagiarism. You will fail the assignment. Please take the time and fully answer the question. Here, I'm not looking just to see rote memorization. Usually, I'm wanting you to discuss something. So make sure you are doing that. So if I ask you to discuss the difference between the Rococo and Neoclassical, I'm not looking just for a definition of the Rococo and Neoclassical. I want you to discuss their similarities and their differences. Discussion boards are your opportunity to show engagement with the work. Okay. All right, the My Grades tab, this is just a direct link to your grades. I will post your grades here once an assignment has been graded. You'll also see your current percentage and your letter grade at the end of the report. You are expected to complete all assignments completely and on time. Again, this is a short class. The due dates are very firm. It is your responsibility to make sure you are checking My Grades to make sure your grade is correct. So for some reason, if on discussion board 2 you got a 0, and you go and you look at my comments on your discussion board and there's nothing negative, you're going to want to email me and say, hey, I'm just curious, why did I get a 0 out of 30? Odds are I made a typo when I typed it in. So you're going to want to make sure you let me know. Keep an eye on this because I understand many people have expectations for their grades. Maybe it's to keep a scholarship. Maybe it's so your work pays for it. You have access to your grades from day 1. Coming to me week 6 and saying, what can I do to raise my grade? It's a little too late for that. So please do keep on top of this. JCTC does not use a plus and minus scale. So 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, and so on. There is no plus or minus. All right. Tools and help. The tools button will take you directly to all the tools of the course available through Blackboard. Before any new tools are used, if I'm going to require it, we'll explain it. I also put a little email button there. Just makes a nice quick link. The help button, this will take you to Blackboard help. Please look and search the site for information to assist you. If you're having issues with Blackboard itself, that is not something I can help you with. Now, if you're having trouble navigating the course, I can help you with it. But say your computer and Blackboard are not talking, that's something you're going to want to talk to Blackboard help on. All right, and then as I've already said, JCTC email. We will be using the JCTC email system or the KCTCS system to communicate. This includes emails between individuals and groups. I already said I put that email link up on there. If you go to that email in Blackboard, you can see the class. If you say all users, it'll literally email the entire class. So maybe you have a question you want to ask your classmates instead of me. You can do that. If you want to email a classmate directly, you can find them through there. So make sure you do use that tool. Every student has a working JCTC or KCTCS email account, so we will be using these to avoid any confusion. Please don't email me on your personal email. When I get an email from, Cardinals fan 2, I have no idea who it is. So please do use your JCTC email. I will also be using mine. Again, this is an online course. Email is one of the main ways we will communicate, so please check your email at least once a day. If you email me and ask a question, please check back quickly because I often respond to email very quickly. And in fact, if I have not responded to your email in 24 hours, feel free to email me again. But I try to answer all emails within 12 hours. I'm one of those people, if I have a question, I hate sitting there waiting for the answer. So if you ask a question, please don't email me and then don't check it for 3 days. Okay? Please do check back on those. All right. And that's about it. This is just, again, quick little introductory course, getting to know the Blackboard system, the expectations of the class itself. If you have any questions, please email me, let me know. But more than anything, remember, this is an online course, and it is your responsibility to ensure you know how to use the tools to complete all assignments. Right? If you've got questions, you've got concerns about anything, please feel free to reach out through email to talk with me. Other than that, welcome to the course, and I hope we have a great semester.